In this video, I'm going to introduce you to software that can be used with the Reaction Plan Manager++ software package. If you're a QC-CALC user, you will really like this application. It's called QC-CALC SQL to Reaction Plan Manager++ Monitor. Its purpose is to monitor QC-CALC's SQL database and send new part measurement data to the Reaction Plan Manager++ software. The software literally plugs directly into QC-CALC's SQL database. It's easy to configure. It uses custom search criteria. Now, what do I mean by custom search criteria? Well, let's say, for example, you've got two machines producing the same part, and for whatever reason, machine A is different than machine B. So clearly, you'll need a different Reaction Plan Manager++ solution for machine A versus machine B. Using the QC-CALC SQL to Reaction Plan Manager++ Monitor software, you can differentiate the two. So even though you're measuring the same part, I can send the data for machine A to the reaction plan for machine A, and I can send the data for machine B to the other solution. The software only works with Microsoft SQL database. QC-CALC has two different databases that you can use. You can use the SQLite, or you can use the Microsoft SQL database. This only works for the Microsoft SQL database. The software runs on the same PC with Reaction Plan Manager++. You can use it in the lab, shop floor, or anywhere that has access to the database. This is an important feature because you can literally plug it in anywhere, point it to the database, configure it, and it'll start working. I'm going to exit this PowerPoint presentation and actually demonstrate the software. You can see I have Reaction Plan Manager++ running here. I've got QC-CALC Real Time running here, and I've got the RPM Training CMM running here. Now, the QC-CALC Real Time could really be running anywhere. It could be running in a lab somewhere. We really don't care where it's running because we're going to be accessing the database directly. So I want to run the QC-CALC SQL to RPM++ monitor application. That's this application here. If I start the application, you'll notice a splash screen appears. And then the application disappears and drops down into the system tray. Here you can see, if I click on this, you can see it's running here in the system tray. Now, it's designed to do that because when it starts running, we want it to be hidden from the operator. It's running, it's doing what it's supposed to do. However, the operator, it's not going to be noticeable to the operator. What I would recommend doing is pinning that to the start folder so that when you start the computer, it automatically starts this application. Now I'm going to go ahead and expand it so you can see what it looks like. You've got a bunch of tabs here at the top. You have messages, QC-CALC file monitoring, settings, and data debug. You have clear messages button down here, auto mode on and auto mode off. By default, auto mode will be turned on. As soon as you start it up, it automatically turns on the auto mode. If I want, I can turn off the auto mode. When I turn it off, it's now no longer monitoring the database. It's not looking for data to pull from the database. Now you'll notice that the settings and the file monitoring windows, these are now selectable, and I can actually make changes to the software. Or I should say, make changes to the configuration. Right now we're only monitoring three different items. We only have three different items we're looking for. Compressor housing op10 machines 100, 101, 102. Compressor housing op10 machine 103, 104, and the compressor housing op20. I can click on the QC-CALC file monitoring organizer, and it provides tools to let me pick the different part files to monitor. I can pick a part file and then configure the part file accordingly with regards to how you want to filter the data, things like that, which solution you want to send the data to. I'm not going to mess with that right now. I just want to get you in, I just want to show you how the software works. So I'm going to go back to the auto mode on. I'm going to turn that on. And I'm going to start measuring some parts. Let's start by measuring this particular part program. And I'm going to run machine 100. So I'm going to run this particular part program, and it's going to send the data. It's going to filter the. It's going to send the data from machine 100. So if I inspect the part, this simulates inspecting the part. QC-CALC real time does what it's supposed to do. It the database is updated, and Reaction Plan Manager saw the data come across from QC-CALC SQL to RPM++ monitor. The monitor found new data and sent it to RPM. RPM opened up the appropriate solution, compressor housing op10, machines 100, 101, 102, processed the data, and now we have a report. If I measure the part program again, but this time I'm going to measure data from machine 103. You'll notice that now our Reaction Plan Manager received new data from the monitor application. It opened up the compressor housing op10, machine 103 and 104. So we ran the same part program. The data was filtered a little differently by the monitor application and sent it to the appropriate solutions for processing. If I pick another part program that's not in the list and I inspect it, you'll see that the monitor simply ignores it. Let's go ahead and measure the part program, the turning process, which is the compressor housing op20. And for the machine, it really doesn't matter what machine ID I use. I'll inspect the part. Real time does what it's supposed to do, updates the database, the monitor finds the new data, sends it over to RPM. RPM opens up the appropriate solution, processes the data, and now we have the information. The monitor only sends new part data to Reaction Plan Manager. Internally, it keeps track of what parts have been sent and what parts haven't been sent for each item in the list. To learn more about this application, visit the Becker Quality Solutions website, then choose the support page and click on the Reaction Plan Manager++.